War is hell. But you know what's also hell? A cold cup of coffee and a broken stove when you're freezing in a foxhole. In the grand, brutal calculus of war, a malfunctioning piece of gear might seem trivial. But on the front lines, where survival is measured in moments of warmth and sips of hot liquid, it's a personal catastrophe. The official army gear was great when it worked. It was designed by engineers in clean labs, tested in controlled environments, and built to exacting specifications. It was supposed to be foolproof, soldier-proof. But when it broke, soldiers didn't just give up. They couldn't. There was no customer service line to call, no warranty to claim. There was only the biting cold, the gnawing hunger, and the relentless enemy. Giving up meant accepting misery, or worse. So they looked at a pile of junk and saw a hardware store. They saw not just what was, but what could be. This was the birth of a unique kind of genius, forged in the crucible of necessity. Welcome to the world of the battlefield MacGyver. Forget the perfectly supplied soldier from the movies. The reality of logistics in World War II was a chaotic, often failing miracle. Supply lines stretched for thousands of miles over land and sea, constantly under threat. The real hero of the front was often the unit's scrounger, the guy who could turn a busted pocket watch and a paperclip into a compass. He was the unofficial quartermaster, the wizard who could conjure solutions from thin air and discarded refuse. He was the most popular man in the platoon, because his ingenuity meant the difference between misery and comfort, between being lost and finding your way home. Today, we're counting down the top 5 most brilliant field repairs that turned useless into urgent. These aren't just clever tricks, they are testaments to human resilience and the incredible power of seeing the world differently. Repair number 1, the trench watch compass. Your fancy-issued compass is at the bottom of a river. Maybe it was knocked from your hand during a crossing or simply slipped from a wet pocket. The result is the same. You're disoriented, potentially behind enemy lines, and every direction looks the same. Panic is a luxury you can't afford. But you have a watch? You're in luck. As long as the sun is visible, that simple timepiece on your wrist is a lifeline. This is a classic survival technique, passed down through generations of soldiers and outdoorsmen. By pointing the hour hand at the sun, south is roughly halfway between that hand and the 12 o'clock mark on the dial. It works because the sun moves across the sky at a predictable rate, and your watch is just a mechanical model of that movement. It's simple, elegant, and it works. But if your watch is broken too, even better. Don't throw it away. A dead watch is not useless. It's a kit of precision parts. Its purpose has simply changed. You can magnetize the needle from the mechanism. Any small ferrous metal hand will do. The challenge is creating a magnetic charge without a magnet. Stroke it on silk or your hair in one direction, about 50 to 100 times. This process of friction aligns the microscopic magnetic domains within the steel. Then carefully balance it on a leaf or a sliver of wood and float it in water, away from any other metal. And bam, you've got a compass. The needle will slowly, almost magically, align itself with the Earth's magnetic field. It's not navigation grade, but it'll stop you from walking in circles towards the enemy lines. It gives you a consistent bearing, a direction to follow, a thread of hope in a confusing landscape. Number 2, the fuel drum stove. This is the big leagues of improvisation. We're moving from pocket-sized fixes to platoon-level engineering. This isn't about personal survival. It's about communal morale. That 55-gallon drum that once held precious fuel is now an empty, useless eyesore. It's a monument to what you don't have: warmth. It takes up space, collects rainwater, and serves as a constant, rusting reminder of the cold that seeps into your bones. Wrong. To the battlefield MacGyver, it's a gift. It's a prefabricated combustion chamber, a stack of high-quality sheet metal, a blank canvas for warmth. With some brute force and a few tools, you can turn it into a stove that can heat an entire tent or cook for a squad. You cut a door for feeding fuel, punch holes for airflow, and rig a chimney from scavenged ration cans. It's a simple design, control the intake of air, control the exhaust of smoke, and the fire in between will do the rest. It's loud, it's ugly, and it probably belches smoke, but it radiates a glorious, life-giving heat. It turns a company's worth of frozen, miserable soldiers into a company of thawed, marginally happy soldiers. It becomes the heart of the camp, a place to dry socks, heat rations, and share stories. The quartermaster would have a heart attack if he saw this flagrant misuse of government property. But he's warm back at HQ, probably complaining about the quality of the coffee, so who cares? On the front, survival trumps regulations every time. Repair number 3, the boot knife from a bayonet. Your rifle bayonet snaps in half during, let's say, an overly enthusiastic attempt to open a crate of rations. The bayonet was designed for one thing, but soldiers used it for everything. A pry bar, a hammer, a can opener. It was inevitable that some would fail under the strain. Now you have a useless handle on your rifle and a jagged piece of high-carbon steel. Instead of crying, you get grinding. You find a flat stone, a piece of concrete, or even the curb of a bombed-out street. With patience and a lot of elbow grease, you begin to reshape failure. That broken piece of steel can be shaped into a perfectly good fighting knife, a tool for prying, or a wire cutter. You grind a new point, sharpen the edge, and wrap the tang with leather or cloth to create a serviceable handle. What was once a specialized weapon becomes a versatile personal tool tucked into a boot for easy access. It's a phoenix rising from the ashes of your own clumsiness. It's a powerful statement. Even when our primary tools break, we can create new ones. We can adapt. We can turn a setback into an asset. Number 4, the radio wire fuse. Communication is life. A working radio is the invisible thread connecting a small, isolated unit to the larger battle. It's how you call for artillery support, request medical evacuation, or warn of an impending attack. When your radio wire gets cut, by shrapnel, a passing vehicle, or even a hungry rodent, you're isolated, you're blind and deaf. The silence is terrifying. Fixing it is more than just twisting wires together. That's the panicked amateur move. A simple twist creates a weak connection, prone to corrosion and signal loss. Do it wrong, and you get a short circuit and a dead radio. If the positive and negative conductors touch, you could blow a fuse, or, in a worst-case scenario, fry the radio's delicate internal components, rendering it permanently useless. The trick is insulation. The key is to treat each conductor as a separate, sacred entity. You need to recreate the protective sheath that was destroyed. If you don't have electrical tape, you use what you do have, the wax from a candle, dripped carefully over the splice, the rubber from a gas mask canister, sliced into thin strips and wrapped tightly, even pine pitch, heated until pliable. Anything non-conductive that can create a barrier and protect the connection from moisture and from each other. This is a repair where doing it half right is worse than not doing it at all. It requires patience, a steady hand, and a deep understanding of the principle at stake. It's a delicate, high-stakes surgery performed in the mud. And our final repair is a classic, the canteen cup. This thing is a soldier's life. It's your bowl, your pot, your cup. It's your shaving basin, your wash bucket, and sometimes your entrenching tool. This simple piece of stamped aluminum is arguably the most versatile and essential piece of kit a soldier carries. If it springs a leak, you're drinking from your hands. A tiny pinhole from a piece of shrapnel or a fall onto a sharp rock can render it useless for holding liquid. Your ability to boil water for purification, make coffee, or eat soup is gone. The best fix was a small bolt and nut, acting as a permanent patch. Scrounged from a piece of broken equipment, this was the gold standard. With a small washer made from a leather scrap to act as a gasket, the seal was permanent and reliable. The desperate fix? Hammer it shut and plug it with pine resin or even your own chewing gum. You'd use the butt of your knife to peen the soft aluminum around the hole, then force the sticky gum or resin into the tiny remaining gap. It tastes a little minty, but it holds water. It's a temporary, ugly solution, but it works. And when you're dehydrated and cold, a minty, lukewarm soup is infinitely better than no soup at all. What tied all these fixes together wasn't just skill, it was a mindset. It was a fundamental shift in perception, an ability to deconstruct the world into its base components. It was looking at every piece of junk not for what it was, but for what it could be. This is the core of ingenuity. It's seeing beyond the intended function of an object and recognizing its inherent properties. A fuel drum isn't trash, it's sheet metal. It's a cylinder of steel with a specific volume and surface area waiting for a new purpose. A broken watch isn't garbage, it's a spring, a needle, and glass. It's a collection of gears, levers, and screws. It's a treasure chest of tiny, intricate solutions to problems you haven't even had yet. This shift in perspective is the ultimate survival tool. It's more valuable than any single piece of equipment because it allows you to create equipment from nothing. It's a tool that can't be broken, lost, or taken away. These soldiers didn't just win battles with bullets and bravery. Those were essential, of course. But wars are also won in the quiet moments between the fighting. They won them with their wits. They won by outthinking the cold, outsmarting deprivation, and outmaneuvering despair. In a world of chaos and destruction, they were the quiet builders, the fixers, the innovators. They were agents of order in a universe of entropy, creating function out of failure. They proved that sometimes the most powerful weapon in a soldier's arsenal isn't issued by the army. It isn't the rifle in their hands or the grenades on their belt. It's built from scrap, by hand, in the mud. It's the unwavering belief that no matter how bad things get, a solution is waiting to be discovered in the junk pile. It's the simple, profound power of human ingenuity.